Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for stopping in. Just got the birds out. Got a late start today. Birds did not fly well yesterday, so let's see how they do today. Yesterday I let them out and I went inside real quick, and then I went inside the loft and came out and they were all on the roof. And then it took them some time to get back up in the air. So I don't know what was wrong yesterday. I have a feeling I overfed and didn't fly the day before, so. I always wonder because it's usually just sunshine up here, no clouds. I always wonder if like the storm pressure messes with them, because it's usually just perfect weather here. Jesus is the way, brother. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming and enjoying the pigeons. Watch them loft fly for a little bit, and then we'll go check babies out. Our normal routine. Flying a lot better today. I really think they're more interested in pairing up right now. I have a couple that normally fly that are messing around, like my guy here. Let's see, there's a little more down than usual. I think they're all interested in something else. Him here, he likes this little spot. So it's not their normal behavior. I think I need to start road training them so they stop playing. I wanted to start this week. I don't know if my schedule will let me, so probably the first toss will be this next coming Sunday, if the weather permits. I hear there's rain in the forecast. Oh, we got a big old bird of prey coming in. That's a red tail. Let's see what the birds do. They're below it right now. Big one. They're usually a little too slow. They kind of just will spook the birds. Let's see, where'd he go? We already lost him. But it'll make them fly better. They'll gain altitude to just probably try to be above it. Let's see, here they go. They're going higher now. Where'd they go? A little too much coffee for me today. A little shaky. I do like to be out here just so when those birds of prey come, I could see if that's what messes with them. You always assume, but it's nice to be like, okay, yeah, you can't even mess with them. But they're not, these guys weren't even phased. I don't know if they didn't notice it. Again, all these birds, most of these birds won't be on the race team. He should though. I don't know what he's up to, but he's just a stock bird. He was hit by a hawk, and he's healing up. One of the birds here is hit the wire, I think, and so they're healing up. This white guy here, he's never a part of the team. He's just unmotivated, so I don't bother with him. He just likes to sit on the loft. But I think a lot of them are more into breeding right now. All right, let's go check the babies out. We did some bands yesterday. Hopefully they're still on. So again, these babies hatched yesterday. Their nest is terrible. I gotta get to town and put some sand in. Sad excuse for a nest, that one. These should hatch any day. Right down when they were laid. I find interesting is this hen has been paired up to both these cocks, and this one's been kind of in the nest, and this cock's okay with it. I find that very interesting. That usually doesn't happen. So they both like her a lot. These babies were banded yesterday on the live. Let's see if bands stayed on. Yeah, bands are still on. Babies are healthy. I'm gonna feel those keels. Very protective. Here are these guys. I don't like how small they are, but I think it's important to always kind of be observing, seeing who's growing fast, who isn't. Really think since the foster hen to these ones is a small hen. I don't know if she's not feeding them enough, but I don't know. It's just interesting. They're smaller. They're being a little smaller. Their parents aren't small. That's why I find it interesting. These are off the imports. The import cock's daughter I have, or I'm sorry, the import cock. I got a daughter, and then a 500-mile cock. This guy will not leave this nest. I'm gonna have to get him down. This is something, once I cut the camera off, I'm gonna clean all this up. Just wanted to do the walkthrough. Just like to look through everyone, make sure everyone's okay. Yesterday we were pointing out, I meant it, but this egg hatched like this when the top folds in on itself like that. And the old timers say that's a good sign. So one of these babies hatched the egg like that. And people like that. It's a good sign. All right, let's go check our other breeder area out. Again, this is just a foster area. And a couple I do let pair if I do like who they choose. Birds are still up in the air, been flying 12 minutes now. Way better than yesterday. I think they flew 5 minutes and then stopped for a while. So let's see if we can't get them to 45 minutes. That's the daily 45 minutes. I notice if you skip a day, if you mess your routine up, it really does affect them. You know, so I didn't fly the other day, and then I fed and poor flying yesterday. So it's important, really is important to stick to the routine. So I since they couldn't fly because it was kind of sprinkling and raining, I shouldn't have fed them as much as I did. I need to be better about that. Here, messy pears, and I put the babies down. How funny, they're in the food bowl. So I brought these babies down just because I want them to start to something new. So I need them to finish doing what they're doing in here. Again, they're my messiest pair. They just throw things everywhere. I have to give them more than enough because I worry that they spill it out and they won't notice. But look at one of the babies sitting in the food bowl. All these babies off this pair really seem to have a sharp eye when they hit the light. Still a little young, but I wanted to move them down when they're the only babies like this. So I picked up his half brother, and he'll be paired to her after. I have a son of my stud cock. I'm gonna pair to her. I think will really be a nice pairing. And him, I gotta find a nice hen for him to go to. Because the birds in these areas are main pairs. In this area, just this breed area, that's why there's only a handful. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 12 birds total that I'm trying to breed around so far. Actually, then 2 more that are not in here. So 14 birds I'm trying to create families around. So we need to get this all cleaned up here soon. Same here, I might bring them down to the ground so they could start being older pigeons so I can switch out, because it's time for her to go to the main stud cock. They bred nice birds last year for the AGN, so I'd like to do the same. This is the stud cock here. I'm trying to work him in this new system over here. He don't seem to like it. But we can go check out these birds back in there. So he doesn't like something about this setup. This is the new setup, my buddy's system, trying to breed the one cock to as many hens as possible. But he did say you have to find the birds that will play this system. And I don't think they're them. So we're gonna have to change this up because time's ticking. So here's the AGN prize winner last year, paired to a cousin of the hen I was showing you earlier. And then here's the brother, half brother. He's also a cock off of my stud cock. So prize winner there, and a prize winner down here. And here's a hen. This is a daughter off of the hen I was showing you. So again, the bird down here I was showing would be like an aunt, distant aunt to this bird. And then here's our Section 5 show winner. He's got 2 eggs in here and also 2 eggs on pumpers. And they're a new pairing. And she was pulled for stock as well. These 2 birds were both actually pulled for stock. They're blends of some of the best birds I have. So I want to see what happens. So This is the guy that will be going to the hen over on the other side of this wall. His body's just perfect. A little henny, but the birds that hen is making is really nice, so. Also, this bird and this bird are related, so this would be like an uncle to that bird. This bird's sister is this bird's mom. So just I think just finding a handful of birds to work with and having a nice tight family and cousins and stuff like that. Like birds. You want all your birds to kind of be the same looking, same type. Mm-hmm. These birds, this bird here and the bird over here look so much like their distant relatives that I got. I got them from Costin, and he was the judge, and he had to exclude himself from judging these birds because he knew they were his bloodline. That's how much they look like him. So you want to keep that. That even when someone else is breeding them, they look like theirs or yours. So I keep this area nice and calm. I don't like to bug too much in here, so I'll just take care of them in the morning and then not mess with them. Let's check our birds. Still flying. Coming up on 20 minutes and 30 seconds. You can tell they look a little lazy today too. My dog's got the zoomies. Again, I don't flag the birds, so if they don't want to fly, if they just want to be pigeons on the loft, they can do that. I don't like when they fly low like this. Again, when the hawk comes through, it kind of pushes them up. It's kind of a pro to the hawk coming in. But now, see, they're coming and swooping down to the road. I don't like that. So they're swooping down over here. I like when they fly over there. It's a little more open. It's not directly above the loft. Thank you everyone for stopping in. Let me know where you're from. Also, is anyone getting ready for this old bird season coming up? Everyone should be breeding for young bird season, but old bird season should be starting here in California here in maybe 6 weeks. their buddy. Again, just one of the stock cocks I let out. I think it's nice for them to be able to fly if they're gonna. But he's a son to the stud cock from a different hen. It's kind of just have him in case of emergency. Birds are getting bothered by the ravens. There they are. So they did eat all their food yesterday. I cut them a little back. I think that helped because I overfed on a day they did not fly. So they ate every bit of barley in there today, or yesterday, left nothing. Here's some babies eating. Yep, everyone's looking strong. They are a little smaller but it might be genetic. It might be the mom's a little smaller too that feeds them. So it's a foster mom, but I don't know if maybe because she's smaller, she can't pump as much food. Just thoughts though. This bird loves the box. He just doesn't leave the box. Again, will be cleaned either today or tomorrow. I'm not big on cleaning all the time. I think immunity is very important. peek in again. Got lots of birds out in the aviary. Oh. And birds in this area again are fosters and birds I haven't used yet. Also just cousins, and just trying to make, even my pumpers are going to be distant relatives as well over time. But it won't be overnight, but it'll be a year or two thing, is phasing certain birds out and certain birds in. Here's that guy right there's a grandpa on the side I'm working with. He's 1154, I believe that's him. And I'm trying to make him be in everything. I noticed things started doing better when he was introduced. This bird. He looks a lot like his pop, right? This guy here. Let's give him a handle. He's got a strong back, his tail goes down. I like it to either go down or straight. I don't like it when it goes up too much. I prefer it to go down. It's still young, but handles very nice. This one's aware, very aware. His pop with a small prize, so I put his dad to my best hand, just kind of see what could be done. So you want to either just do prize winners to prize winners, breeder of prize winner to prize winner is kind of what you want to build towards, I think. So this one is prize winner bred to breeder of a prize winner. His uncle's got just a stunning eye. This one's okay. He's got a nice muscle in his eye when you move. Again, I don't pull their legs. You could tell. You just move their wings and it's a nice back. He's young too, and he handles very nice, feisty for a youngster. Oh, okay. Let me find his nestmate. It's a little check hen. She actually handles a little better. A lot better of a toe. Something happened outside with the birds. You want the wings again to cover the back. I think it's part of the aerodynamics of flying. Back is nice. You want a nice step from here to here, from 7 to 8. She actually handles a little better than her brother. Again, so these have siblings over at the other side that their parents are rearing. So the first round got moved to pumpers, and the second round they were rearing themselves. Got soft feathers. And some of the young birds now, bred this season, are starting to make their way outside, which is always a good sign. They know how to be a pigeon. So they're finding perches. Handles a lot like her mom. Let me show you my favorite one so far. Already handling like an older bird. This is what a Shadow's youngsters. How we doing, Ireland? Thank you. Patrick. Well, that's an Irish name, huh? Yeah, he has a stunning eye in the sun. Let's see if we can't get it to light up. That pupil just dilates. Face is nice and round to the beak. You just wish they were all like this. Nice build, a little bigger than I usually breed, but he's got some muscle. Shadow is a little bigger, but I put him to a smaller hen. You want medium birds, I think. You know, again, you want the back feathers to be on the back. You don't want that. You don't want spread apart wings. You want, when they're flying, you want this back to be covered. Just love this bird. Let me find its nestmate. She might have went into the aviary. Oh no, there she is. You can grab her. Again, I like to come through and handle all the youngsters as often as possible. I don't breed too many, so I can pay attention to them. That's why I can tell you I don't like this splash hen I have that I made that video about. This hen, or this little splash, I don't care much for. You know, you want them to be like that. You know, that one, these ones here. Here's the nestmate to that one. Again, nice and strong build already. Is it? Oh, okay. So here's the nestmate. Shape just a little different, a little more deeper, I think they would call it. You know, the keel comes like that on this one. Butt comes up a smidge, but still just handles better than that little splash. You can't like them all. You have to be very critical of every bird you breed. I know we love them all, but we can't. If you think something, you know, if that bird's not going to do it, then don't send it. Because nothing's worse than looking on the wing companion and not seeing your birds. So if you just lose them to health, to just the elements, something. So you really want to build nice, strong birds for these one-loft races. So if you have any faults like that one I don't like, this won't get sent. Maybe it'll just be flying here. I thought about sending it to a Futurity, but I still just don't feel good about her, so it's not good to waste anyone's time, the handlers or mine. So she'll fly here. But you want them all like this. Everything just lays right there where it's supposed to be, balanced. You want them like wedges though. And when they're flying in that wind, you don't see how everything's kind of staying still. Maybe not the bird itself, but you want this back just, you know, they're moving in the wind if it's windy, you know. They can have a little play, a little mold, you know, or not mold, but like a moldable bird. Some people like that. Not so stiff, but also, you know, does kind of hold its own in the wind. Because these birds will get blown around. So I like to hold them like they're flying maybe and see how the back moves. You want it to kind of stay in one spot. See? So every day I come in and handle the birds. That way they get used to you and you handle them. It's important to handle them, I think. You're learning every time you handle them. You handle the ones that do good, you go, oh, I wonder why they do good and the others don't. Handle them. But just love these youngsters off of Shadow. Can't wait to send them out. Let's see how the birds are flying. They've been out for 39 minutes. So let's see if they're flying. I think a hawk came through because there's only a couple birds on the loft. Again, just appreciate everyone stopping and watching the birds with me. Hope there's some new flyers stopping in and absorbing. I wished when I was a new flyer, I just knew the right questions to ask, so I try to make my videos based around that. Because I think we'll be like, oh, then people don't want to tell you. I really think it's we just don't know what to ask. Because I find that people love sharing their information. But it's just going about asking for it. Oh, birds are done, it looks like. Just shy of 40 minutes. A lot better than yesterday. Again, I do like the 45-minute. Let's see how they all look. Look okay. You're not huffing and puffing, which is a good sign. So I just think they might be ready for the road, maybe. So maybe one, and that's just he's not part of the race team. And that'd be for one of the reasons too. Because he's always huff and puff. He's a stock. He's just one of my genetic banks. Let me set you down and take their top off, just in case they're done. I don't want to bother them. I won't flag them up for the last 5 minutes. If they're done, they're done. No big deal. So get their fresh water and their food. Let's get them just watching here. I'll get their water. Come on, guys. Come. So it's just a barley mix. I call it, it's just like my 12%. It's 3 parts barley, 2 parts 16%. We want to go in and watch them eat or stay outside. Come on, guys. Come. Let's go put their food in. Maybe they're waiting on their food. Oh, guys. Let's go. Come on. I like to be able to walk around them and not fly. They don't fly, you know. I want them to be familiar with me. See? Come on, guys. I like to spread it out too. I like them to have plenty of room. Let's go. Come. I think it's also important, you know, all your birds are in, and then lock it back down. You don't want to leave your trap open. You don't want to risk anything of a hawk coming in. So it's important to kind of just do it all in the hour and a half that you're with the birds. Make sure they all come in, and then you lock it back down. Because when I was new to this, you know, you'd leave it off, and next thing you know, the next morning there's a hawk in there. So it's very important to close it all back down after everyone's in. I can hear on the roof there's still some out there. But I can see my breeders want theirs, so let's get the breeders their food. Good birds, good birds. Also, just I like to be calm around them. I don't like to walk around. I don't like to make any just erratic movement. I like just to be nice and calm. They do better with that, I think. So I try to bring my energy down a little when I'm by them. That way they'll be right around me. They should be okay with you right here, and if they want to, you know, right by the trap, things like that should be okay for you. To be by them, as long as you keep, you know, calm energy. Levi, the new youngsters that I'll settle, well, the youngsters I showed you, they'll be going to One-loft racing, so they could come out in the aviary as much as they want. I just don't let them out. My young bird team, though, that's just a whole, they'll be settled up here for a week. I'll set them up, call them in through the trap, and I'll do that for a week until I know that they'll listen. And then I just open everything and let them ease their way out. I don't force too much for these guys. But I have a calendar that I really go off of, Levi, that dictates it. But you want to do a week of trap training so you know that they'll come in. You know, you don't want them overnight sitting on your loft. That would happen when I was new flyers. You really want to make sure they'll listen and come in every day. So, I mean, that could take you longer. Yeah, but I've got it down to about a week. I do it over and over and over every day. But if you just get like a 6-bird team, Levi, I would at least settle them for a month. So have them in this environment for a month, maybe a little longer if you're, and then I've settled birds in 2 weeks. I've even resettled one-loft birds that don't do well. I'll resettle them here. So just, they didn't like something, maybe they got spooked. If you force them out too, on their first time being out, you want to just, for their first time out, if it's a door or a window, just open it and walk away. Don't force them out their first days, ever. I don't force them for 2 weeks. The only forcing I do now is I walk them out and they'll fly. It's youngsters, do not scare them off, because they'll just take off like bats out of hell. They won't know where they're going. So you need them to do 2 weeks of, they'll fly to the ground and they'll fly to the loft. You don't force them. I don't know what happened, if they just took off. Were they too young? Were they youngsters too, Levi, or were they old birds? So we got the last couple birds out. Oh no, I'm sorry, and there's 3 more in the garage. I was just hoping these ones will go in so I can close it down. But we still have some up there. So let's grab some breeder food. Hey, will you get off of that? Go. Pit bulls are terrible. You're just You bought them. What year were they? Were they bred this year? And they couldn't have been to take off that quickly. So they were bred last year, probably. They might have been too old. Everyone's circumstances are kind of different when it comes to pigeons. Again, the breeders just get the 16%, and I'll add, more whole corn and safflower and sunflowers. I'll just mix a bunch of stuff up, let them pick and choose. I don't know if you'd need younger ones though. Something had to happen for them to take off like that. Ooh, I could see some pipping on that egg right there. So these should hatch very soon. Very excited for that. They're new. So maybe tomorrow we'll have new babies. This is an exciting pair. Just to me. Doesn't mean anything to anyone else probably, but that's part of those babies should have all my best grandparents are in those eggs, is what I'm trying to do. So again, I go through, if there's babies like that in a nest, I give them their own bowl of food so they can see their parents always have something, and they kind of see, oh, I need to learn to eat. So again, those guys got topped off there. That way the parents always have something too. You don't want them to run out. The first 3 days of a youngster's life is the most important. Their organs are growing. They have to have food. Non-stop, I think. All their organs are growing those first 3 days. It's very important. My buddy was saying though that even like the top of the line horses that race have bigger hearts. So I think you want your pigeons to have maybe the same theory as the biggest, strongest organs make the best racers. That's just something my buddy said. I found it very interesting. But but some of these top pigeon racers, I think, are coming from the whole horse world. So they must know something. Let me get them their water too, actually. Let's watch these ones play real quick. If you're buying, I found when you buy, say you buy a team of youngsters from a flyer, I know you want to race, so I would either, Levi, I would send to one-loft races, or I would keep them, raise them, and breed from them. And I found that that was a good success. So I bought a round of youngsters from the top flyer, then I just kept them and raised them for stock and started breeding from them, and that's where my success started. So I know we rushed to let some out, Levi, but especially if you're paying, I bet you just saw your money fly away, man. I'm sorry. Right? Off the ground. Come on, you know better. Come on. Last handful playing. These are the last 5 that need to go in. Then I'll close it all down. Come on, guys. But again, very excited for all the babies this year, except the one. But got some one-lofts and some futurity races lined up. Again, I met a couple of the gentlemen at the show. The one gentleman from Maricopa, I think it's the California Challenge. So I'm gonna send some there. I didn't know one was so close. It's only about an hour and a half from me. And then I met the 300 guy. All very friendly gentlemen. And I believe they're both newer races. So I think I'm gonna send a team to each one of those. That 300, I bet's a hard one, but birds that complete that are very good. The Maricopa one, I like the idea of it because it's only an hour and a half from me. I could take the birds there. They won't be in the post office, which I think is important. I don't like them sitting in boxes, so I think I'm gonna try to take the birds to that one. And the AGN is close enough to take the birds to. I think, and it's just a theory, that I think birds that do better if they're not sitting in those boxes for 3 days at a time. It's very stressful for young birds. So I think if you can put them in a crate and drive them 2 hours, 3 hours, a couple hours, I think that is something awesome. And hopefully, I know at the AGN you can watch the final race. Maricopa one, I'm gonna check. I have the flyer. Let me go get that flyer. And I'll see if it says that he has something on the final. I'm not looking for a party or anything. It'd be cool to see if we could be there for the race day. Let me check though. wanted to show you guys the flyer. I can't find the flyer, but I do know it's on the Wing Companion, the race I'm talking about, the California Challenge. It's a little yellow icon on the Wing Companion. I'm gonna try to find the flyer. I don't know where I put it, but and I believe all these one-loft races do deal, like I think they all have different deals going on right now. So it'd be cool if any of you guys are in the California area to send to these races. We can compete against each other. So, just a lot of feeding going on. I had one hen lay on the ground, so I switched and I gave her a foster egg. I had the bird that I liked that only laid one egg, so I gave it to her to raise. She was under the board, now she just keeps moving it out. But this bird right here, this is the one bird I just read her to send, but I just don't want to waste the trainer's time. I don't feel good about her, so she'll fly here. But this guy here, this guy here, this guy here, this one there, those four are going to be a team somewhere. Actually, that'll be a 5 if I can get one more. I like to send teams of 6. I got my first team right here. The other 4 over there, I'm hoping will be for the AGN. But a couple of these birds will probably be for the Maricopa race. And then there's that Terra Sky, which is also in California, all right there in Central California, which I think will be a good opportunity to test birds. Since I am from California, they might be already acclimated. Just sleeping babies. These have some Mike Gannis blood in them. Their dad has grandparents of Gannis, so great-grandparents on one side have a little Gannis blood. I'll probably actually end up selling the cock to this pair. He just fertilized, or he paired up with the hen before I wanted to get rid of him, so I was thinking of getting rid of him. Babies were banded yesterday. Let's get a good look at both of them. This is a Gabby Vanderbilt cock. And again, this strain I think is for distance. If you look at this jump from the 7th to 8th flight, these birds probably only kick in around 300 mile. Sharp bird right here. So he's paired too. Again, he's from one of the best young bird flyers in my club. And then I paired it to a hen from one of the other best flyers at the club. The 2 best flyers I got birds from, paired them together. We'll see what happens. I bet they're also distantly related because those flyers have been flying together for years. Hanging out in the aviary. Very important for the birds to have space like this to come out. Just mess around. Not worry about getting eaten. Looks like, 2 more birds, 3 more birds. Oh, no, it's 4. I really wish for these guys. Come on, guys. And there's a raven up there. There's a lot of messing around with the birds today. Come on, guys. guys. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's go put you in the loft and we can watch the birds for the last bit of the live. There's the hen that's paired to the Gabby cocks, the two best flyers birds at my club I bred together. Alrighty, everyone. I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate you for stopping in, watching the birds. If you do like the live, make sure to hit the little bell, because I try to do this every day to every other day. How you doing, Mustafar? If you like any of this, maybe go subscribe to my channel. Helps me out, encourages me to keep doing this. Where are we watching from, Mustafar? Are you so far? Dead joke, sorry. Thank you. This is my race team in here. How can we? Dubai, nice. Love to see people from all around the world gather for the pigeons. Mustafar, I don't quite understand. How can we use the pigeon food? You use the pigeon food? How can we use the pigeon food? The pigeon food I use, I'm still a little confused. How can we use the pigeon food? So the daily food that these racers get in here is a barley mix. So they have it's a barley mix with it's 3 parts barley, 2 parts 16%, and fresh water every day. And as good as great as you can get. So unfortunately right now, I'm only using oyster shells. My feed store did not get my pigeon grit, hasn't had it for 2 weeks now, but the oyster shell is better than nothing. But yeah, just fresh everything daily, fresh food, fresh water. If you're racing, and again, you are in Dubai, so again, from climate, it might be different. You might have to feed more. I feed a barley mix because they have to fly over a mountain, so they got to be a little lighter. It does get cold here at night, but it just all depends on what you're flying, Mustafar. If you're just breeding or if you're racing, can you elaborate a little more? Are you racing or breeding? If you're just breeding in cold weather, feed them as much as they want of the highest. So I can get only 16%. So breeders get that all day, every day, probably and I throw in more whole corn, safflowers, and sunflowers. So that's for breeding. Again, racing is a whole different animal, how you're gonna feed. And there's a lot better people to explain it. I just use barley and a little 16%. So you'll be racing from your home through club racing? Is that from the sounds of it? Yes, but you'll be competing against other racers to their homes. Oh, did you say you're from Dubai though? Oh, can't keep up. So it looks like everyone's done eating. And again, they get, so I feed today I fed for about 30 pigeons. There's 25 in here, so there's a little left. And there are 4 more pigeons outside messing around, so they'll come in and get what's left. And I hope that the rest is actually eaten in the morning, because I'm trying to dial them back down. Oop, it's all right. This cock right here is just waiting his turn. So I'll be breeding youngsters off this cock here to send to some late hatches. Just because you want to be able to breed certain birds, 4 times maybe to different cocks. So I have a hen I try to breed to 3 or 4 different cocks. But you can't send them all to the young bird races. So I'll send some of them to go to the late hatches. So in Dubai, you're saying they're long distance? The distance I fly, in case you're asking, is I try to just breed birds around 300, 400 mile birds. So I think mine's a middle distance is what I'm breeding for, technically. So this guy in front of you in the middle, he flew the Apple Cup this year. Didn't do special, didn't do nothing. He completed the series, so those are always nice to have, is proven flyers. So even though he didn't hit any prizes, he completed a whole one-loft race course, all the way to the 330 or 350 miles, whatever the Apple Cup's final is. And that's still really good. So maybe they'll breed something decent. But over the next 2 years, I plan to phase everything that's not a one-loft bird or related to a one-loft bird or for one-loft out. So all the pumpers will be related. They'll all be off my best birds, hopefully. And this is going to take time. This isn't an overnight thing. Yes, sir. I have middle distance. Yeah. And I just breed for that because that's what the one-loft racing is, and that's what I focus on. I do fly with the club, but I don't focus on it. I just kind of do it to go see the guys down there at the club and learn more than anything. So this top bird up here, he's a son off my import cock and the import hen. Sadly, I lost the hen when I had to open the loft when the fire was really close. I didn't have time to get all the birds, so I let the door open and I lost a couple birds that day. They just took off, and one of them was my Belgian import hen. And so that was his mom. So your birds go up to about 500 miles for long distance, Musafar? So it looks like we got 3 more birds out, just messing around. It's the same ones that always are always late to go in. He's not part of the race team. He flies with them, but he won't be raced. Come on, buddy. So he's off my stud cock to a different hen, a stick-a-bot hen. But she passed away, so I just have them around. He can't make up his mind what he wants to do. There we go. He made his mind up. So we got the birds pretty much all in. There's 2 more out. They've eaten, they've drinking. Now they could just hang out on the purchase. We got some of the youngsters coming out, which is a good sign. This is the nestmate of the one I don't like very much. He handles a little better, still not as much muscle as I'd like for one-loft races. All right, man. I appreciate everyone stopping in. I better skedaddle. I got distracted and I was gonna leave a bit ago. But again, hit the little bell if you like these. I'll try to do it every day, every other. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to all you later. Have a good day.